Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this video from. And when you're watching this video, it's El Zenito, and today we are going to be creating a very simple poster. We're going to be combining multiple images together, multiple images of a celebrity. And the celebrity we're going to be working with today is no other person but Kate Henshaw, or Kate Henshaw. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. This is what I want to create. Something like this, right? But that's not really the main idea. The main idea is to combine. So she's currently seated like this, and she has another image of her standing like this, which I like. Then another image of her smiling like this. So I want to find a way to, I want to show you guys how to combine multiple images and make it look very neat, as though she's a triplet, something like that. So the first thing I want to do is download these images. Now, how do I download images from Instagram? Snap Insta or snapinst.com, right? So I just go here, just copy the link, and I paste it here, and now it's going to give me all the images. So I have this download, I have this download. I want to just find a way to combine everything together. So I also have this download, I also have this. She has a lot. Wow. Anyways, let's see. I think that's enough. We don't want to do too much. So now that we have downloaded everything, let's go to our downloads, and we would see this is our file here. So let me drop this. So all right, then I can delete this. All right, so I'm going to put everything into a folder, right? And the reason I'm doing that, I'll show you later. So let's call it Kate, and just drag it into a folder like so. Now this folder, we want to upscale the folder using this software called Upscale. I've always talked about Upscale in every of my Photoshop design, right? In every of my Photoshop tutorial. So what you want to do is click on Batch Upscale, because most time I've always worked with select image, but this time we are scaling up everything inside a particular folder. It makes it faster. So click on Batch Upscale. So select a folder and go to your downloads, and you see Kate. Select the Kate folder and upscale. So just give it a few seconds to upscale everything. It's quite faster than having to upscale them one by one, you know. So yeah, again, if you don't have upscale on your system, you are lacking, or you're lagging behind, because any image you have, imagine if you get an image online and it's just 1 MB, or your client sends you an image of just 500 kilobytes or 20 kilobytes, and you can just bring it here and just upscale it to as high as 100 MB. I've had to upscale a particular image from 3-4 MB to about 200 MB, 300 MB. Very crazy. So yeah, okay, we are done. So I'll close this. Now when you open your folder, you would see the image we have already and the upscaled version. So this is the upscaled version. You can see 21 MB for everything. So I'm going to just rename them so that Photoshop does not have long named layers, right? So I'll just rename them like so. So we'll call this 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the thing we want to do is we want to create this, right? But before we create this, we want to actually create the actual design, and the design is actually bringing them together to form a single image before we then bring it into this file. So we're going to be rushing because it might take a bit of time. So first thing first, create a new folder, a new file. We don't mind me today. So we're going to work with 5000 by 5800, resolution 300. All right. So this is what we have. Now I'm going to bring the image one by one. I'll start with the one where she's seated. I think we have everything seated. So, but the one that has her like well positioned, so which is this number 1. I'll bring it in. So we're going to be using a lot of like generative AI, right? A lot. So I'll bring this in. I'll bring number 2 in. How am I even doing it one by one? Okay, you know what? Let me just bring everything at once. Don't mind me. Now you can see how crisp and neat and detailed the image is. Now we have a little bit of a problem. This image, because the camera, the photographer is closer to the character, it looks bigger than others. You can see, except this they look similar. So what I want to do is, first thing first, I would select everything, Ctrl T, then scale them down, because I want all of them to have the same kind of dimension and size. So when I scale them down like this, all right, let's say I'm satisfied with this. Yeah, let's scale them up a bit. All right, so we're going to take it bit by bit. So the first thing we want to do is walk around this one. Now let's rasterize everything. So this particular one, what I want to do is I'll just select my marquee tool, rectangular marquee tool, select this part, select this part, select this part, and let generative field do its work. So I'll just press generate, and it's going to generate the part that needs to be added to this image. Let's give it a few seconds. All right, we've been able to generate I think my light, we've been able to generate the background and every other part of it, which is very, very dope. You can see we have several options like this. No, that first one is definitely the best, right? So I'm going to close this like this, and I'm going to merge layers together. So this is our first character. Now for this first character, I want to separate her from the background. So what we do, we just press select subject. Now, what you then do is you go into this place and you make sure every part of our body is well selected. It doesn't have to be perfect, because the background, we are retaining the background, right? It doesn't have to be perfect at all, but just make sure it is good enough. You can see this part. Let me zoom out, then zoom in. I'll just select everything here. I'll just select everything here. So this one, what I'll just do is, because again, it doesn't really matter, we will need to have everything together. So I'll just select it like this. We might need to stop here and not touch the other side, but let's make sure it's properly selected as well. Yeah, so now that we are properly selected, it's not properly selected though. Look at the leg. I have a very, very sharp eyes, even though I'm using eye drop at the moment because I'm having red eyes due to too much screen time. Gosh, of my life. All right, so we have this properly selected, right? We're satisfied with the selection. So what we want to do is just click on select inverse and choose the layer max. Nah, sorry, not inverse. Just go back and choose the layer max, so it separates her from the background. So what we want to do is we want to then duplicate this. I will call this background now, and what we want to do is just bring this back here, delete the layer max, right? That's one. Just bear with me. The idea is to just make sure that this character is separated from this background. Now the next thing we want to then do is bring in other characters. We'll start with the first one, which is this one. Now this one, you can see the problem I was talking about is this particular one. You can see she's smaller in size compared to this, and that's because the camera was far from her. the closer an object is to the camera, the bigger it is, right? And the further it is, the smaller it is. Same thing, it's just perspective, right? So, hold on, please. So we need to increase the size, right? But before we increase the size, let's first make sure that we just separate the character from the background, right? So press select object. All right, now for this one, we have to make sure it is also properly selected, right? Every part of it is properly selected. Every part of our body is properly selected. This woman is not growing old at all. It's like she has the elixir of life. I just say it's all based on her healthy living. I mean, she's someone that is very, very keen on always eating right, exercising well, and all. So, I mean, it's not surprising. And that's why I'm also taking my exercise very, very serious. Aside the fact that I want to add flesh, but I also want to be very, very active, especially for my sedentary life. I'm always sitting down like this. So yeah, and thank God I have a VR headset. At least that helps me to like be engaged. You know, I play games and all, so I move around all the time. Anyways, let's make sure this is well selected. Just make sure it is properly selected. Now, when we are satisfied with what we've selected, you can just press select and max. All right, then you press OK. Now, when you turn this on, you can see where. Now let's apply our layer mask. Now you can see the difference in size. Now we need to make sure that the size actually tallies. So by doing that, we have to make sure that the head size is the same. So let's increase our head. Is it the same now? I think it's the same now. It's slightly bigger. Yeah, it's perfectly. Let me zoom in properly. Okay, this one is slightly bigger. So, yeah, I think it's the same now. Yeah, and this is cool. So now if you bring it, like you can see now, they actually look like they are the same. They actually look like twin. But the reason why I actually separated this is so that I can then bring this behind her like this, as you can see. Can bring it behind her like this. I think she needs to be smaller if she's going to be at the back perspective, like I mentioned. Exactly. She needs to be smaller, exactly. And that's basically how perspective works. So we have this like so. Now we're going to bring in the second person, and that's this person, right? Because she's pretty. So we can delete this now. Yeah, we can delete this. So okay, let's first start with this person. Now for this person, because she's leaning, this character is leaning to the left, right? But our main body has a left in this position. So for it to look very, very cool, you have to like switch. So let's go to edit, transform, and just flip horizontally. That way it can then blend well with our character. Do you understand my gist now? All right, so first thing first again, we're going to select subject. We're going to select subject. All right, now we're going to first deselect this part because we don't need this part, only some parts here that we need, right? And also we're going to make sure, you know what, let me just zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Go to zoom in. So all this part won't be necessary, so I need to deselect them. I just need to make sure that our legs are properly selected. You know, this part is properly selected. If possible, let's make sure that even the back side, well, we need it actually. So let's just make sure that they are well selected, these parts. All right, even this part is needed. Yeah, this part is needed actually. So by the time we place R next to the main image, anyone that is not needed will then delete. Anyone that is needed will add back, right? So let's zoom in and make sure our face and all these selections are actually very, very key. They are easy to overlook, but don't overlook them. It makes your image, your design stand out, because there are some designs that look very, very good, but by the time you look at the edges, you know that this person didn't take out time to properly edit it. Like one design I saw, photo manipulation I saw on Facebook, crazy photo manipulation, but it was just yeah. So this is this, like you can see. So this is the character, as you can see. So I want to find a way to blend it together like this. So, and now what we can then do is this. If we see that it is not working, another thing we can do is just push this forward, push this to the right, like this, so we can have space. Now, having pushed that to the right, let's fill this up with creative and generative fill. This is why I'm doing this. I'm taking this long processes to make sure that it looks as real as possible, and because we are trying to like make multiple versions of R in the same in the same design and also, and that's why I'm taking my time to painstakingly capture every single part of the design. So I'll just blend this. Now if I can see, and this, now what we can then do is we'll make sure we find a way to make it work, don't worry. So all right, so it will bring it. I want to see how we can put our hand on. Okay, yeah, something like this works actually. Something like this works. So we have to find a way to then blend it properly. So to blend it properly, first thing first, let's zoom into this part that is not working, and we'll select. Don't worry, we'll still find a way to use AI to like edit all those parts. Nah, it has to be white. Don't forget, if you are removing anything, change this to white. It has to be white. Now it doesn't blend well because you see that the design of the lightning of the images are quite different when it comes to like what they are sitting on. So, but yeah, we'll just play around it. We'll find a way to like make it merge properly, right? As you can see, you just have to make sure it meshes properly. Let's take our brush. This already meshed properly like this. So we have to find a way for this to work, but we'll still get to that. What else is not working? Yeah, this part needs to be blended properly. So let's take our brush. We'll still use AI to like blend this well, but just follow me. Just follow me, yeah. All right. No? Okay, I can see the issue here. So the issue here is, let's see how this works, okay? Okay, that's this issue here. Now, what we can then do is bring that down slightly. All right. Okay. Now it looks better. Let's push her to the left a little bit, just like it. All right, cool. We still have to work around this. When we make it an actual image, we would work around that part. Now this last one might not work again because now we have so many things. Like she's seated here. The only thing we can do is probably bring her here, which would not necessarily work. I don't know. What do you guys think? Then probably you want her to sit in front of them like this and raise her hand up. We can try that, Sha. Let's see. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, we just delete. All right. We're still on track. So select subjects. So I'm going to zoom in and make sure this is actually properly selected because she's going to be in front of the ladies. So we need to have her properly selected, like every single part. So let me pause this video and just select it. All right, so we have done the first selection. Now what I want to do is first to add it like this and see what it looks like on these other guys. You can see what I'm talking about. Now it's looking too rough, right? Like it looks too rough. Let's say probably I bring it to the back. Nah, it has to be in the front. Like front. And even at that, it's not just working. I'm sorry. It's not just working at all. Unless okay. Now I'm seeing something. All right, but we still need to work around. So what we want to do is then would select this. We'll add some of our just add it here. Yeah, exactly. Just add it here. Okay, this might actually work. To be very honest, this might actually work. All right, so let's assume this is going to work. I'm going to use this, right? Let's group them. No, not group, sorry. Let's group and duplicate so we can save one of them. Now delete the group. The reason I won't save all of them is so that because I want to apply the layer mask to everyone like that straight away so that I can start editing. Now again, we have this. Now I think this character can then come to their center like so. Yeah. Now since the character is now in the center, the spacing here is different from the spacing here. You need your design to be symmetrical, right? So at the moment it's not symmetrical, so we need to bring all of them here like this. All right, so having done that, we need to then fill this up again. Thank God for AI. Anyways, it's looking cool, it's looking nice, looking great. Yeah, that's nice. By the way, the reason why I'm able to work 2-3 jobs and still be doing tutorial and stuff and still be doing design and stuff is because this is my passion. Like, this is my hobby, to be very honest. So if you don't see design as a hobby, as something fun to do, it's going to be like work and you'd always be stressed out. Look at, yeah. So this is what we have, looking very, very dope. Now to put the icing on the cake, I could easily leave it like this because the photographer did a beautiful job on this design. Like this is it's so perfect. I could leave it like this, but because we have them interacting with each other, there needs to be some form of shadow. It won't be too much, but there needs to be some form of shadow because our hand is directly in front of this. So first thing first, we need to add shadow to the main person at the back, right? So just click on shadow, create clipping marks, choose so I'm going to just apply shadow here, and then because people are at our back, people are at our front, so interaction will be there like so. So we'll just multiply. When you multiply, you can then reduce the fill and also reduce the opacity. So the shadow is there, but it's not so much, right? Now the next person is our main character. Again, we'll add shadow. Don't mind my spelling, I'm rushing. Now for this shadow, we have this shadow of the character here, you know, directly on her like this, and also on her face like this. You can see. Then also with her hand like this. So something like this. It shouldn't be too much. Then multiply. So that when you zoom out, you can see some form of shadow. Right, you can see some form of shadow around there. Same thing with the next person here, who had shadow to the character. We'll add shadow to the character, and before I continue, this has finished working. Can you imagine? Since 8:59. Let's take note of that. 8:59. So I'm going to note that down. So for this character as well, we'll add shadow to her, you know, and also to this side like this. Just play around with this. All right, so let's assume we are good with this. I've never saved my work. Let's say Kate Henshaw. So this looks very, very dope, very, very clean and pretty nice, right? So you can see the shadow here. You can reduce it if it's too much. There's a shadow here, this one, another shadow here. And the final shadow here. All right, guys, this is basically what we are looking at. Now, let's now go straight to the actual design, right? To the actual design, this is what we want to design. Now, I'm looking at making this a two-part video. So the first one is the clone video and the second one is this video. So I'm going to see you in the next video.